Module 12. Understanding the Reasons for Challenging Behavior. Welcome to the 12th module of this course. This module will help you learn more skills to understand and manage your child's challenging behaviors. In this module, you will learn how to use pictures to help your child know what's happening next and prepare to change activities, and how to find out the reason for challenging behavior so you will know how to respond so the behavior happens less often. Lesson 1. Home Practice Review. Let's review your home practice from Module 11. You were asked to use strategies to help your child stay calm and cool, and notice your child's challenging behavior and what happened before the behavior. Reflect on your home practice and respond to the questions below in your journal. What cool, warm, and hot behaviors did you see during your 5-minute practices? Which strategies did you use to help your child stay calm and cool? Did you use strategies to manage a challenging transition, changing from one activity to another? If your child showed challenging hot or warm behavior, what happened before the behavior? And what can you do when your child shows yellow and red behavior? Remember that children can communicate using challenging behavior to get access, attention, to avoid something, or to get a sensation. Remember to look and listen for signals before the challenging behavior occurs. Please pause the course here to write in your journal before continuing. Lesson 2. Using picture schedules to help your child. In this section, we will introduce you to key tips on using picture schedules to improve your child's behavior. Tip 1. Use picture schedules to help your child understand activities and stay calm. First then schedules show your child what is happening now and what will happen next. You can show 2 pictures to the child and say, first we wash our face and hands, and then we put on clothes. The first picture shows a washcloth and soap, and the second picture shows clothing. Picture schedules help to warn your child that a change is coming. This can lower anxiety and stress about what will happen next. Activity or day schedules show your child many steps at a time. This after-school schedule has a picture for each step the child will do once she or he comes home. First, take off shoes, then have a snack. After snack, pick up brother, and then play. For pictures, you can use a photo of the real object or action. For example, a photo of your child's shoes, a printed or magazine picture of the object or action, or a drawing. Lesson 3. Maya and Luke's stories. Now we will hear 2 stories that will help us think about the reasons for behavior and how to respond to challenging behavior. It's important to understand the message a child is sending with her or his behavior. How we respond to challenging behavior depends on the message. Maya's story. As you listen to Maya's story, look and listen for 1. What happens before Maya's behavior? 2. The challenging behavior. And 3. What happens after her behavior? What is the message Maya is sending with her challenging behavior? Also, notice how the caregiver responds. Maya's mother has been working on a toothbrushing routine every night. Maya does not like brushing her teeth. Her mother reminds her that it is time to brush her teeth before she goes to bed. Maya ignores her mother's reminder and continues to play with her brother. Maya's mother waits for a couple of minutes and then asks Maya again to brush her teeth. Maya whines to have a few more minutes to play before bed. Sometimes Maya's mother lets her have more time to avoid the battle over brushing her teeth. Sometimes she tells her no and asks her again to brush her teeth. When she does this, Maya sometimes cries, screams, and flops to the floor. Sometimes Maya's mother gives up and does not make her brush her teeth. Think about Maya's behavior when it came to brushing her teeth. What challenging behavior did you notice? Maya's challenging behavior included whining, asking for more time to play, screaming, crying, and flopping on the floor. What message is Maya sending with her behavior? Maya is sending the message that she doesn't want to stop playing and come inside to brush her teeth. Do you think the challenging behavior will increase or decrease if Maya's mother continues to respond in the same way? If Maya's mother responds the same way to her behavior, Maya's challenging behavior will increase because her mother sometimes gives in and allows Maya to avoid brushing her teeth. What could Maya's mother do instead? It is important for Maya's mother to plan to respond by making the steps very clear and continuing the routine. The mother can also plan to use a picture schedule to help Maya understand what is happening now and what the next step will be. She could also add another activity, like having a snack or getting ready for bed, between playing outside and brushing teeth to make it easier to change activities. It could also be helpful to make teeth brushing easier or more fun for Maya by offering help, praising, singing, or finding an easier time to do the activity. Luke's story. As you listen to Luke's story, look and listen for 1. What happens before Luke's behavior? 2. The challenging behavior. And 3. What happens after his behavior? What is the message Luke is sending with his challenging behavior? Also, notice how the caregiver responds. Louis-Philippe has a job that requires him to make a lot of telephone calls. He tries to make his calls while his son Luke is at school, but calls still need to be made when Luke is at home. When Louis-Philippe answers the telephone, Luke begins to yell for his dad loudly, "Dad, Dad, look at this! Dad, Dad!" and runs around the house. Louis-Philippe tries to continue the call, but eventually Luke's running and yelling are so loud that Louis-Philippe tells his son loudly to stop or tries to get Luke to sit quietly with him while still on the telephone. Think about Luke's behavior while Louis-Philippe was trying to make his telephone calls. Then, answer the questions below. What did you notice happened right before the challenging behavior? Right before Luke's challenging behavior, Louis-Philippe answered the telephone or made a phone call. What was Luke's challenging behavior? Luke's challenging behavior was yelling loudly and running around the house. What did you notice happened right after the behavior? After the behavior, Louis-Philippe tried to ignore Luke's behavior until it got so loud he had to intervene to be able to continue his call. When he intervened, he told Luke loudly to be quiet or sit next to him so he could calm him down. What message was Luke sending with his behavior? Luke was sending the message that he wants his dad's attention and wants to connect with his dad. Remember that attention helps children feel safe and cared for, even negative attention. Lesson 4. Responding to challenging behavior. The 4 goals for responding to challenging behavior. When the reason for the behavior is to get access to something, the goal for responding is using a gesture, sign, picture, or saying a word. Or, if you do not wish to provide the item, be consistent and do not give the item when there is challenging behavior. You can see in this example A child is screaming while trying to reach for a snack on a shelf. The reason for the behavior is to get access to the food. If you wish to provide the food, then before you give the snack, you can show your child how to ask for it using a gesture, sign, picture, or words. For example, point to the snack and say, "Want snack." This gives your child an example of a gesture and words she or he can use to request. When the reason for the behavior is to get attention, the goal for responding is to give no attention or response to the challenging behavior, ignore the behavior, and reward appropriate behavior and skills with praise and attention. In this example, the children are running around their mother and trying to get her attention. The goal for responding is to give no attention for challenging behavior, and then reward appropriate behavior as soon as you see it. In this example, when the children begin playing quietly, the mother gives them praise and attention by going to them and smiling and saying, "Good job playing." When the reason for the behavior is to stop or avoid something, the goal for responding is to set clear, consistent, and appropriate expectations and help your child understand that challenging behavior will not stop the activity. In this example, the child is screaming and struggling when his mother is about to brush his teeth. The reason for the behavior is to avoid having his teeth brushed. The goal for responding is to set clear and appropriate expectations. For example, by using a timer to show the child that they will brush for 2 minutes, then all done. The mother could also make the activity more fun or add a reward, like playtime after teeth brushing. If the reason for the behavior is to get a sensation or feeling, the goal for responding is to provide a safe and appropriate way of getting the sensation and help your child to communicate to get the sensation they want. In this example, the child is putting things in his mouth that he finds on the ground. The reason for the behavior is to get a sensation because he likes to chew on things. The goal for responding is to provide a safe and appropriate way of getting the sensation. For example, by putting flexible plastic tubing on a string he can wear around his neck. Then he can chew on the necklace when he wants the sensation rather than things that are dirty or unsafe. Key message: find out the reason for your child's challenging behavior and decide how to respond based on that reason, to get access or attention, to avoid something, or to get a sensation. There are 4 reasons for challenging behavior: get access, get attention, avoid or stop something, and get a sensation. Think about what happened before, during, and after the behavior to find out the reason for the behavior. There are different things you can do to decrease or stop these challenging behaviors, depending on the reason for the behavior. We will learn more about how to respond based on the reason for the behavior in the next module. Home practice plan. It's time to prepare for your next home practice activity. Use your journal to review your target challenging behaviors and think of 2 activities where these behaviors occur. For each activity, answer the following questions. 1. What happened before the challenging behavior? 2. What challenging behavior did the child show? Describe the behavior. 3. What happened after the behavior? And 4. Decide what is the reason for the behavior. To get access, to seek attention, to avoid or stop something, or to get a sensation. Please pause the course here to write in your journal before continuing. Module 12 Summary. What you learned. You can use picture schedules to help your child understand activities and stay calm. There are 4 reasons for challenging behavior: to get access, to seek attention, to avoid or stop something, and to get a sensation. Think about what happened before, during, and after the challenging behavior to find out the reason for the behavior. Thank you for completing this module. Please answer the module quiz and complete the feedback survey. After 4 or 5 days of practice with your child, you will be ready to go on to the next module. Remember to practice self-care as well. You can continue with the self-care activities you are already doing, or try something new before you start the next module. See you then!